Hello and welcome to another IT Wire interview with top international executives. With me I have Keith Nealon. He is the President and Chief Revenue Officer of Adaptive Insights. Welcome.
Well, thanks Alex, thanks for having me.
So please tell us a little bit about Adaptive Insights for those that don't know about the company, a bit about your history and how long you've been in Australia.
Sure. We're a 12-year-old company. We're the largest in terms of number of customers in what we call cloud corporate performance management, which is really overall kind of a suite of products serving the Office of the CFO and the Office of Finance. We've about 2,500 customers globally, and about 150 in Australia, which we've been fortunate enough to gather over about the last 3 years.
So what are some of the big names that people would recognize in Australian customers?
In Australia, so Coca-Cola, Comvita, Xero, and Roy Hill Mining. So we, from technology to mining to manufacturing, quite a few customers.
Pretty wide range, yeah. Now, I personally haven't heard of the Chief Revenue Officer before. I've heard of a lot of other Chief XYZ officers. Sure. So tell us a little bit about your position within Adaptive and what a Chief Revenue Officer does.
Sure. So I'm the President and Chief Revenue Officer of Adaptive. I guess with the Chief Revenue side, what that is really looking at, we're a business-to-business company. So we're dependent on a sales funnel. And so the Chief Revenue Officer is really looking at optimizing all of the touch points in that funnel to make sure that our business is growing. And that's for a variety of direct and indirect programs, from marketing, channel, etc. As a president, I have responsibility for about 60% of the employees in the company, and typically that's from sales to professional services to what we call customer success, which is really about making sure our customers are happy and successful after they've purchased a subscription to our software.
Now, one of the reasons why you're in Australia today or this week is because you have a roadshow, and you were saying you have a number of these a year. Yeah. Tell us about the roadshow that you're doing today.
Sure, yeah. So we're doing roadshows all over Australia and New Zealand. We do 250 to 300 events every year, so almost one a day.
Wow.
And what they are for us, we do a number of things. So we're really sort of, as a solution provider to the Office of Finance and the CFO, we really want to meet with a lot of our customers and provide them updates about what's happening in technology and the evolution of the role of the CFO and the Office of Finance. We typically do them, and they're great industry events where we bring together customers and prospective customers who are looking at our solutions, and we want them to make an informed purchase. So we happily mingle them with our customers because we have very high customer sat. We want to make sure they understand, for those that have had some of the same challenges and opportunities, what it's like to work with Adaptive, learn a little bit about from peers around some of the ways they're solving interesting challenges in finance, and just a generally good idea stimulation event. And I won't lie, a good lead generation event for us as well.
Yeah, networking for everybody concerned.
Right.
So tell us a bit more about what makes Adaptive unique, and what more about exactly what you offer to your customers globally.
Sure. Well, we offer a suite of products, but at the core, around planning, budgeting, and forecasting, this is where we originally started. If you look at how 80% of companies operate today, they use Excel to do their planning, budgeting, forecasting.
The great Excel. It's a solution for everything.
Exactly. And it's interesting because there's a statistic that says 90% of Excel spreadsheets contain formula errors, and 90% of users don't think there are formula errors.
Yeah.
So when you think about what CFOs do, it's really to project the outcomes for the business and to protect against risk. If 90% of the spreadsheets they're using have errors, then you're not really predicting accurate outcomes. No. So that's a challenge. And also when you're planning and budgeting, you want to engage the other executives, and Excel is not necessarily a collaborative tool for doing that. So our cloud solution is a centralized solution, and it really deals with helping finance executives automate a lot of the planning, budgeting, forecasting, working with other execs, and removing issues around formula errors. The other 20% of the market has, over the years, spent lots of money on what we call pre-internet technologies. The Hyperions, Business Objects, Cognoses of the world, which are licensed technologies. they're expensive, they cost a lot of money to implement, and not everybody can afford those solutions. So our solution kind of fits in the middle of that and gives people the ability to very quickly and cost effectively get up and running on a planning, budgeting, forecasting solution. We do obviously offer other solutions, but that's our kind of a base platform.
Clearly, it helps finance teams be a lot more productive.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So how long ago did you move to the cloud? Because I mean, we've been talking about cloud for a long time, but over the past 3-4 years, it's really taken off. But originally, you weren't cloud-based. You were software that people installed, and then.
No, actually, our founder's vision, Rob Hull, was to design a solution directly in the cloud. There was a time early on where we offered a cloud and non-cloud solution, but we always had the cloud solution first and foremost. Now we only offer cloud, so we've been doing that since we were founded in 2003, so 12 years now.
Yeah, long time. Now, Deloitte says that it's been becoming increasingly important for CFOs to be strategists and helping those to shape overall strategy and direction, and Catalyst instilling a financial approach and mindset throughout the organization, which obviously helps other parts of the organization perform better.
Right.
So, I mean, you already mentioned a lot about the finance, but is there anything else you can say about how you really help the CFO do their job?
Yeah, well, to piggyback on what Deloitte is saying, I mean, most CFOs, they spend most of their time really sort of protecting the business and managing cash, and sort of really the sort of manual finance operations. They all want to be more strategic and more business partners versus purely finance partners with the other executives. But they spend so much time manually doing, the reporting side, the planning, the budgeting, the forecasting, and repeating all that over and over, and then consolidating books, etc., that they don't get time to be strategic. And if you look at what CEOs want of their CFOs, they also want them to be more strategic. What our solution does is allow CFOs to automate, and their organization to automate a lot of what is manual, so that they have a lot more time to be strategic thinkers and to be business partners versus purely financial partners with
bookkeepers
the rest of
or
the team.
accountants, we're crunching the numbers.
Exactly.
So where are you based in Australia, and who are some of your local partners here?
So we have a team, most of our team, we have actually teams in Brisbane, Sydney, and in Melbourne. We cover obviously all of Australia. That's where the lion's share of our team is.
Yeah.
And partners in Australia include from large partners like Deloitte to more boutique firms like GK Horizons and 4 Points Consulting.
And I mean, is Australia the springboard for servicing the rest of Asia? Why is Australia and New Zealand such an important market?
Well, being an American headquartered company, naturally Australia is it's a big economy, it's English speaking, so it's typically a natural next step for American companies. But they're obviously in the Australian market, always been very pro-technology, very pro-cloud software. I mean, we have customers that are both in the commercial sector and in government, as government here is very pro-cloud as well. So it's just a great market for us and a great economy to be a part of.
And if you were to put your magic hat on and look in the crystal ball, how do you think everything will evolve over the next 5 to 10 years?
Well, there's obviously a lot of work for financial organizations to move from sort of manual and transactional to automated and strategic. And we and our partners help with that in both technology and services to complete that transformation. But in addition to what we do, we also provide a lot of analytics and insight, right? So not just input and automation to processes, but output to be able to say across your organization, what are the opportunities in the business? How do you get information real time to everybody to make strategic decisions? I think you'll see us and the world innovate a lot more in terms of being able to use that historical data to inform from more of a, I won't say artificial intelligence, but a smarter way of predicting outcomes based on historical past performance. And you'll see our analytics evolve in that way more.
And presumably you've got apps that people can use on their smartphones and tablets to collect all this information?
Yeah, so one of the other advantages of cloud is it's a centralized data store. And so we have a cloud solution, but we tend to develop our user experience for a mobile first environment, and then we look at PC secondarily. So that means you can get access to the application and to all the dashboards and charts and insights via any device. And because it's centralized in the cloud, everybody's looking at the same information regardless of the device they're on or the geography or the division they're in.
I mean, people expect that nowadays.
Right.
It would be funny if you didn't do it. So.
Yeah, well, you know, there's a lot of vendors that still don't really think about the world that way. We've just been lucky in that we've focused on both cloud and mobile first solutions for quite some time.
So, do you have any final messages for IT Wire viewers and readers, and for your current and potential future customers?
Sure. Well, I mean, if you're not coming to see us or you're not part of the current roadshow, we'll be doing many more of these. It's a great market for us. We got a lot of great and happy customers, and we'd encourage you to come along and see us. We'd love to have you.
Keith, thank you very much.
Thanks a lot, Alex.